That's more than 7.5x what it's currently trading at. So, all right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing, and just to give you a little more information on the channel, there's 3 areas we focus on. We do a lot of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners specifically. We also focus on the EV sector as well as high growth stocks. So anything's fair game, but those 3 sectors and Bitcoin miners in particular, we tend to focus on. So if you're interested in any of that content, please subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button. Having said that, today I'm here to talk about a company called DraftKings, stock ticker DKNG. So they are essentially online fantasy sports and other sports betting. I'm not going to do a deep dive on this. I want to tell you this is a little different than my normal videos. I think there's a swing trade here on this, so I'm going to focus on that, but I at least want to tell you what the company is. So, here's their webpage in their own words: win cash your way at DraftKings. Sportsbook, daily fantasy sports, and casino. I believe this really started in the realm of football, the whole fantasy sports world. These guys have turned it into some pretty big business. So, and I think they've turned into the industry leader as well. So, if you want a deeper dive, you guys can do your own due diligence and see what this company does, but effectively, that's what they are. So let's start out by just taking a big picture look at this company. And I want to start by looking at their stock price and their market cap. So today is November 9th. It's the middle of the trading day. Right now, they're down about 3%. They're trading at around $43.37. That leaves them at a market cap of about $17.5 billion. So that's fairly sizable, especially when we dig deeper and look at their numbers a little bit. The other thing I wanted to mention is, so the analysts here on Yahoo have a 1-year target of an average of $67, but I will tell you they're all over the place. A couple of people came out with targets yesterday, I think in the 70s. There's one as low as 40. There's one as over $100. So again, I tend not to rely too much on the analysts, and this is a perfect example of why. You've got some people saying sell, and you've got some people saying strong buy, and they think the stock's going to more than double. The last thing I'll tell you is they most recently came out with their Q3 earnings results. So just going to give you quick highlights. DraftKings meets guidance with third quarter revenue growth of 60%. They updated their revenue guidance. So for 2021, their revenue guidance is $1.26 billion, and they introduced 2022 revenue guidance of somewhere between 1.7 and 1.9 billion. This is not a deep dive for a buy and hold position, which most of my videos are, but sometimes I see an opportunity for a swing trade, and I see one here. So I'm going to show you their price sales is almost 16, so that is high. And if you look at their earnings, they lost $2.76 a share last year in 2020. They're estimating they're going to lose $3 a share. And remember, there's over 400 million shares of this outstanding. That's a lot of money. This is over $3 a share. That's over $1 billion loss this year. And this is over $500 million loss next year. So their revenue is trending in the right direction. You can see 106% growth, estimated almost 45% growth for next year. So this is a very high growth stock, but they are losing money, and they plan to keep losing money. They do have cash on their balance sheet. That's the good news. So they're not necessarily going to run out of money, but this is not a formula that I typically invest in for a long-term trade. So let's take a look at the chart, and let me show you what I'm thinking as far as a swing trade goes. Okay, so this is the DraftKings chart on the 1-day candles. So this is over 1 year worth of DraftKings info here. And you can see I've put 3 lines on this. I've got a line at $42.34. That is right here. And this line of support has been very strong for, like I said, just about, a year now. And this is a part of a good setup for a swing trade. We're sitting at a line of support that we visited right now here in November. It touched this line back in July, again back in May. It didn't quite get down to it, but very close back in January. And then you have to go all the way back to November of last year. So a year ago, it actually dipped below this line. This has been a year of DraftKings bouncing off of this $42 mark. Past indication is not a guarantee of future performance. So There is no guarantee that this pattern is going to continue. When you see a strong pattern like this, it deserves looking into. So I've put two other blue lines on this chart. One here at about $51, and then another here at about $61. DraftKings was just at $51 on a consistent base here for several weeks over the month of October. I don't think it's gone even 1 month in the last year without hitting somewhere around the $50 mark. These two components put together are leading me to believe this is a very good swing trade opportunity. Now there's another trade above that. You will also see I put a line at about $61. This is also a stock that visits $60+ on a regular basis. So you've got two potential swing trades in here. So the thing that I'm looking for is basically I'm looking for this to go see if it can test this line right here. That's number one. Number two, if it can do that, can it break through and go test 60 right here? So, sometimes there's 4 or 5 or 6 months in between the time it's hitting this $60 line, but it is very regularly hitting the $50 mark. So this, as they call it, is one of those potential rinse and repeats. We could see this thing bounce up and down like this, over time. So I have not been trading this. I've had my eye on this for a long time. It got out of control in September. And I will tell you, this is one of those sell the news situations. It ran up like wild into opening weekend of football season. So that was the big event. And right from that moment forward, it's been pretty much down in a straight line. So it's gotten all the way down to its level of support. I see it bouncing back and forth from here. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know that that's going to happen. But when you see something this reliably doing this, you have to decide for yourself, is there the potential there that it's going to continue this pattern? And if you think that it is, then it may be worth a trade. So I'm going to show you, I'm actually looking at an option on this one. So I'm going to show you the exact option that I'm looking at, but I will tell you, you don't have to play this the way I'm playing this. There are many different options at many different strike points. You can also just hold the stock and buy and sell it between these lines. So, you guys got to make a decision of how you want to play this, but I see a very, very strong swing trading range here. So with that said, let me show you the option that I'm looking at. And again, you guys do not have to do this option. There are so many options. Please be careful trading options. They're highly volatile, and hopefully you've had some experience if you want to dive into it this way. Otherwise, just play the stock straight up. So having said that, let me just tell you the one that I'm looking at and the reason that I'm looking at it. So this is February 2022. So this gives me about 90 days. And again, like I said, we haven't really ever gone 1 month without DraftKings hitting $50. So this gives me 3 months. So I like to buy a little time because you never know what can happen. Again, you could take some more risk and buy a shorter term option. The shorter the term, the higher the volatility, so the more money you can make, but therefore the more money you can lose. So I'm giving myself a little bit of time on this, and I'm picking the $55 strike point. That's not necessarily because I think it's going to 55. I just think as it heads to 50, this option will behave well. And you can see right now this option is trading at $1.79. It's down almost 15% on the day today. If I just go back to October 13th, which is less than a month ago, this option was trading at $3.80. So that is more than double what it's trading right now. If I go back a little further to late September, this was trading at $5.50. That's more than triple what it's trading right now. If I go back to early September, this option was trading at $13.68. So at $13.68, that's more than 7.5x what it's currently trading at. So you can see this is the kind of option that I look for. Lots and lots of upside. It has a proven track record that it has done this over time. This thing has reached, back in August it was at 7. Back in June it was at $8.43. So this option right now is basically at its all-time low, and that makes sense because DraftKings is bouncing off of its lowest line of support. So the risk reward for me on this one is very good, but you have to also understand However much money you put into an option, if it doesn't play out the way that you hoped, you're basically going to lose your money. So you can quantify that. You know, if you're only willing to risk $100, then just put $100. If you're only willing to risk $1,000, then just use $1,000. You guys know your own thresholds. So, but the upside, unlike trading the stock where this is maybe a 20% move, the upside here is maybe 100% or 200% or 300%. So it's a great risk reward as long as you're willing to take the risk. So this is how I'm looking to play DraftKings. And again, this is not a due diligence video for a long-term buy and hold, which I typically do. I'm just going to end by looking at the chart. This really is a swing trade, and you can see this has traded between $42 and $51 pretty much all year for the last year. So it's also bounced off of $42, where it's about right now several times all year. That has been a super strong line of support. So that's kind of my case for this option. This, again, I don't have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice. So do your own due diligence. Please understand options if you want to trade the option. And again, from here to here is a 20% increase in the stock up to the $51 point. And then up to the $60 point is a 43% increase. So there's plenty of money to be made just swing trading the stock itself if that's what you decide. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.